Yeah, hello again. Welcome to the debate tournament on the motion Will the Future Bring Better Days, organized by Kemer Debate of National Education and hosted by Gelecek Science High School on May 12th, 13th and 14th, 2026. Before we begin our program, I can ask everyone to switch mobile phones to silent mode, please. And during the debate, please don't move and don't leave the hall. And try to be quiet. A total of 10 teams will compete in our debate tournament. The fourth debate session will take place between proposition team Goca, Yörük and opposition team Işığı. First of all, I'd like to introduce our distinguished jury members. Akdeniz University faculty member at the Department of Foreign Language Education, Faculty of Education, Professor Dr. Binur Genç İlter. Akdeniz University faculty member at the Department of Foreign Language Education, Faculty of Education, Associate Professor Dr. Fatma Özlem Sakal. And Operations Manager at NG Hotels Facilities by Mr. Ahmet. Welcome. Thank you. Now, I would briefly like to explain the rules of the debate to the teams. Each team consists of 3 speakers, and each speaker will deliver a 5-minute speech in alternating order. During speech, a single bell will indicate that you have 1 minute remaining. 2 bells singles, time is over. At the end of the round, there will be a 5-minute recess for preparation for the closing speech. After the team leaders deliver their closing statements, the session will come to an end. The proposition team will have the floor first. We wish both teams good luck. Now I'd like to invite the first speaker of proposition team, Goca Yörük. Let's begin.
Honorable jury, respected opinions, and dear friends. I am Beyza Kurt and the leader speaker of the Goca Yörük team. Today we will defend the opinion that the future will bring better days. We believe that the future will be brighter because peoples are being who thrive and hold on to life through hope. History clearly shows us this. We lost thousands of educated people in the Battle of Gelibolu. We lost 90,000 young soldiers in Sarıkamış. Our soldiers fought under difficult conditions with very limited food resources. But after the occupations, the Republic of Turkey was established. In the past, women were branded as witches and burned at the stake. They didn't have access to justice. They have no sovereignty. This cremation and slavery were extreme and inhumane. But now, we are experiencing these things step by step. We are experiencing something as good as the suffering people have endured. And we are experiencing these things step by step by living them. Nelson Mandela fought for 27 years to dismantle apartheid regime, spent 18 years in prison, and won. A tragedy occurred, but this tragedy ended. It didn't last forever. If Nelson Mandela had given up despite all the struggle, all the injustice he endured, that regime would have remained in the place. What we mean is that the future will be better because everyone has suffered in the past. People are beings capable of making mistakes, but they change by making mistakes. During World War II, Hiroshima was bombed. People of Japan was almost wiped off the map. But pain of that time shaped modern Japan. It was our hope that kept us alive. If the people of Japan hadn't continued to fight for their country, the Japan we know today wouldn't be emerged. Today we believe that evil is increasing. But increasing is not evil. It is visibility. In the past, when a crime was committed, its remains confined to that village or region. Today, thanks to the technology, it can trace in a very short time. Therefore, the world is not worse, but more transparent. Every major turning point from the agricultural revolution to the printing press, from the industrial revolution to the internet, is a result of technological progress. The differences between the hunter-gatherer societies and our modern age is the endless evolution of humanity. Technology has now replaced many professions, but in the past, there were professions like knocker-up. Knocker-ups, they go to the people's home and make them wake up. But many new professions have emerged today, such as teaching, engineering, and software development. A current mistake is that we shouldn't overload ourselves to technology. The real mistake lies in how we use it. Maybe in 20-30 years, we will realize this mistake and begin to use technology more consciously. Or for example, in February 6th, earthquake, people lost their children's, families, possessions, but there are these people who continue their lives because they still have hope. There is a war in Palestine, but people there still have children who will bring hope. They don't want to lose their roots. Despite the war, there are still people struggling because they still have the hope to win back their country. The future is not built by perfection, but by people who refuse to give up. Because as long as humanity has hope, the future will never trustly be lost. Thank you for the listening.
Yes, thank you. First speaker, Işığı team. Please, Sir John.
Before starting with my speech, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Lesbe, I'm 11th grade, and I'm from Kemer Vocational and Technical Anadolu High School. Well, before starting my speech, I want to say that I'm really excited and a bit nervous because it's my first time being in a situation like this, so if I make any mistakes, I'm really sorry and please be understanding. So, we're going to talk about the counter-argument of this question, will the future bring better days? As you guys are aware, this topic is quite complicated and wide-ranging. Therefore, we have divided this issue into several parts. I will focus on the general perspective of this issue. After me, my teammate Jornafe will talk about technological and scientific dimensions, and after him, my other teammate Ra will discuss social, environmental, and psychological perspectives. Okay, let's start. Let's start with economy. If we mention economic issues in this question, we need to know how this generation feels. As you know, Gen Z represents the future, and the future represents Generation Z. Almost all of the surveys show us that Gen Z does not feel financially secure about their future. Let me give some concrete examples. First example from Pew Research Center, which is one of the most reliable sources in the world. It says that many young people don't believe the future will be better. The second example from American Psychological Association. Can I do it? Thank you. I would like to say that, can you do it properly? I mean, can you look at it properly? Because it is really important for our topic. According to this survey, Gen Z reports higher levels of stress and anxiety than any other generations. At this point, we cannot ignore the feelings of this generation. And when we look at the economy, we see a dark picture. We are not only losing money, but we're also losing hopes. For Turkish people, as you know, Turkey is not a very rich country, but also not a very poor country. So our country's future is uncertain, and that makes our people anxious about their future. Another problem is inequality. The world is getting richer, but not everyone can get that money. Just a small group of people are very rich. Most of the people are struggling to survive. And at this point, we cannot ignore it. Let's look at the daily life. In the past, people could buy a house or a car or whatever easily, but today, everything is so expensive. Buying a house, car, or anything is like a dream for young people. For students, they're going in other cities or countries for university education, but most of them don't have rich families, so they need to work and study at the same time. It's a sad truth, isn't it? Okay. People usually saying that the violent against women and animals are, I'm sorry, real sorry. I'm a bit confused. People are usually saying that the violence is less compared to the past. But this is not true. We are completely ignoring the violence against women and violence against animals are increasing day by day. And optimist thinkers are usually saying that the living conditions are getting better. On the contrary, living conditions are getting worse. We have serious problems like high inflation, rising unemployment rates, and more that I can think about. And that's all. To sum up, future is not bright as we expect. And thank you all for listening. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you. Yes, second speaker of Goca Yörük team. It's okay? Just, yes, you can start.
Hello, everyone. Elizabeth Melek Zengin. Believing that the future will be good isn't just a matter of hope, it's also a way of recognizing one's own power. Because what we call the future is actually a continuation of the present. Everything we do today, every decision we make, and every dream we build directly shapes what is to come. For this reason, the answer, will the future be good? Largely depends on another question, what are we doing now? When we look at history, humanity has never followed an easy path. There have been wars, deep suffering, and global crises. Yet despite all of this, humanity has always managed to rise again. This is because in human nature there is tendency to persist, to search for a solution, and to strive for something better.